Welcome back to the Jalan Besar Stadium for this World Cup qualifying match 2014. The road to Brazil is a very long one indeed for Singapore. They're a goal down despite being the more enterprising of the two teams. Jordan have taken their only real chance in this match and have made the most of it. Abdallah Deeb with his goal, his 20th goal for his country, the 24-year-old. A stint in Europe with Belgian club Mechelen certainly helping him out there. Cool finish from him. Singapore have made two changes in reaction to what's happened in the first half. Shijai, who had a knock just before half-time, has been substituted by Isa Halim, who's far more of a holding player, as his second half kicks off. The other change is Shadan Sulaiman takes over from Hafiz Rahim. That's a like-for-like substitution. Shadan, very much an attacking player and lots of pace as well. Singapore, as I mentioned earlier, in a do-or-die mission here as the ball goes across the goal. Confirmation of the substitutions for you. No change yet for Jordan, who were just quite content to sit back at times. Didn't create particularly very much, but do look dangerous when they go forward, and there's a chance there, off the crossbar, and what a let-off for Singapore. All that space for Hassan Abdel Fattah, who's their top scorer in qualification so far. Look at that. Well, that would have been, you felt, game, set and match for Singapore, but they survived. Just talking about the lack of opportunities for the Jordanians, and they almost score at the start of the second half. Singapore have played two of their substitutions already. That's a big gamble from V. Sundaramurthy, probably with instruction from Rani Abramovich. They've got to go for broke, remember. But they'll feel pretty encouraged by their first half display. There's Shadan Sulaiman, as I mentioned, who replaces Hafiz Rahim. Jordan also trying to create history by qualifying for the fourth round for the first time in their history. When Mahbub, the surprise selection possibly ahead of Lionel Lewis in goal, but he's been pretty decent so far, hasn't been called upon that much really, just dealing with high balls most of the time, a couple of shots but nothing that really would have troubled him. Here's Duric to Shahril Ishak, who's playing a slightly more withdrawn role in the middle now. Juman Jantan, he needs to have a better second half after a disappointing first 45 minutes. It has to be tipped over by Amir Shafia. Fazul Nawaz with the looping header. Decent ball in, he got between the two defenders, and just to be safe, Shafia had to tip it over. Singapore with another corner. They've led in that department, that's for sure. That just shows their attacking intent. Looked like a bit of a free header there for Duric. He probably felt he could have done better with that. Well, he would have wanted to glance that across the goal. Khalid Zaid. Bashar Bani Yassin. Bennett intervenes again. They passed the ball well here, Singapore, but it's the end product that's been not quite forthcoming just yet. A little too intricate, perhaps, from Shahril Ishaq. Pretty impressive from this young man, having not played any competitive football in 2 months, thrust into a friendly. Had a pretty good time of it, as I said, playing a makeshift defender once Safwan Baruddin was substituted. Had to play central defence. He did a good job there. Singapore with a clean sheet against a resurgent Philippines. Here's O'Day. Isa Halim. Got a space here, Sharan Sulaiman, who's luckily managed to hold on to the ball, rather fortuitous for him. And he gets it back to Isa. Looking for openings as Juma Jantan comes forward here. Shahril Ishaq. Sixth corner for Singapore. The delivery of these corners has sometimes left a bit to be desired. Saiful Essa with his left foot to curl this in. All eyes, well, surprising rather from him. Takes a short one again. These short corners have not worked, has to be said. Safwan is still up front. Concedes a free kick. Adnan Hamad, 5 stints as Iraq coach, was fired for failing to get them into the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Now plying his trade next door in Jordan. And with a point or two to prove, he must have very much enjoyed beating Iraq after being unceremoniously dumped for the 5th time. Singapore would have looked upon this group with some relief, because none of the bigwigs are in this group. That they've avoided the likes of the Japans, Koreas, Australias, Saudi Arabias of this world, Irans as well. So in theory, this should have been a little less daunting than the prospect they faced at the moment. Jordan here with a free kick. Oh, it slipped under the goalkeeper, Iswan Maboud. Unsighted, he's let that slip under his body. And Jordan take a 2-0 lead in rather lucky circumstances. It doesn't matter to them. Bassem Fati is claiming the goal. Did he get a little flick there? Well, was there a hint of offside as well, but non-interference in play. He did get a little flick on. Well, actually, it was Anas Bani Yassin who got the little flick Whatever it is, Jordan are 2 goals to the good, and Singapore now will have to throw everything at Jordan if they want to try and salvage this game. Well, this one, Mahmood, not sure how much he saw of that. There was a sea of players in front of him. Surely now Singapore will feel they are on their way out unless something very special happens here. Once again, it's just their first real attack on this goal. They had one chance earlier, hit the crossbar. Otherwise, they've been kept at bay. But that is the sign of a good team, as they say. Take your chances. Singapore have had opportunities. There's a rather deflated feel about the stadium at the moment. The Jordanian fans in the house are enjoying themselves. There's got to be careful here, Shaiful Essa. Don't really want to be telling the referee to be dishing out cards, as O'Day has just had a word from the referee. Well, he had a few problems earlier on in the first half of the day with a yellow card for simulation. So he needs to be a little bit careful. This is the goal scorer, Abdallah Deeb. Thrown out quickly to Charles Ishak. He's asking for support, his players to move forward. Isa Halim, here to Shaiful. Well, I will mention a deflated atmosphere off the pitch and perhaps translating now onto it. Shadab Sulaiman. Well, they've lost their verve, haven't they, Singapore? Well, it was a real sucker punch for them to concede that goal. There's Cheryl now on the left-hand side. It was an offside decision. It's just not going Singapore's way at the moment. Remember, as I mentioned, just 2 years ago, these two sides were far closer in the rankings. Singapore 110 then, Jordan 1 place above them. Now Jordan 85th, Singapore 136th. It's been a poor 2010 for Singapore. No wins in 11 matches. They failed to qualify for the semi-finals of the ASEAN Football Federation Championships, a competition they tend to dominate. Because of that, the Football Association of Singapore axed or culled many of their senior members. It's been a period of transition here for Singapore, which was beginning to bear some fruit when they beat arch rivals Malaysia in the earlier qualification round. But still very much a young team, a young squad. Fazrul trying to play that across the goal, no real support for him. Jordan's advantage is that they've kept pretty much the same squad together for at least 3 years. That has borne fruit here, clearly. Again, Sharilishak trying to find an outlet, and it's all too easy for the Jordan defence. Here's Issa Halim. Again, the hands out from the players, just showing the lack of options they have at the moment. Singapore having to make their final substitution, and it's Fazrul Nawaz who goes off, and Khairul Nizam, who comes on with about half an hour to go to try and make a difference. The Courts Young Lions striker. This is the big time for him. Fazrul Nawaz, with 48 caps, has been replaced. He was showing some good signs as well. I would have thought Singapore would have tried to have kept at least all their strikers on and sacrificed at the back, but they've opted to play it safe still. Here's Issa Halim to Duric. Just seems a little bit of restlessness in the crowd. Issa again asking for options. Harris asks for the ball and gets it. Sharilishak now on the right-hand side, loses possession. Here's Baha. Hassan Abdel Fattah. Ode with a nice run. It's cut out again by Daniel Bennett, who immediately loses possession. A dive there, diving header by Ahmed Hayal. Just missing the ball. This is what they're capable of on these counter-attacks. Safwan perhaps doing just enough. So Singapore have played all their substitutions. Jordan yet to do so. There'll be some very tired legs out there. Oh, he squeezed it in! That's a wonderful goal! And that surely is it now for Singapore. Fantastic finish from Ahmed Hayal. Static defending from Singapore.